All right. All right. All right. Let's go. Let's go. How you doing, Jason? First like and comment. Yeah. Oh boy. Let me tell you something. It's cold. It's what? It's 38 now. It's warmed up quite a bit. It was like 24 this morning. My my whole connection just dumped. Looks like it came back. So yeah, cold outside. We'll just put it that way. So I was looking at the standings, and especially in the Eastern Conference, you know how they say if you're not in a playoff position at Thanksgiving, it's wonky. To me, I think the Eastern Conference is done. To be honest with you, um, Panthers, Leafs, Bruins, Lightning, top four in the Atlantic. Capitals, Devils, Hurricane, Rangers, top four in the Metro. Now, technically, the Rangers are tied with the Flyers, and the Jackets are 2 points behind. The Islanders are 3 points behind. Penguins are 3 points behind. But do you really think any of those teams are going to actually end up finishing ahead of the Rangers? I don't know. I don't see it. I think you look at the top 8 right now in the Atlantic and the Metro, and I think it stays as is. I think it stays as is. Hey, Jason, how you doing? Scientist, how's everybody doing? Oh. Now, I looked over in the Metro or in the West. The Avalanche are actually not in a playoff spot. Actually, not in a playoff spot. Wild, Jets, Stars, and then Knights, Kings, Canucks. And Utah. So, yeah, the Panthers are back in business. Yeah, that's if I might stream froze. All right, I'm gonna. Can you hear me? Yeah, the ISP needs to go. I'm gonna restart the laptop. Just give me just bear with me. I hate to do it, but we definitely have a problem. So just give me the 3 minutes to restart the laptop. Yeah, I'm back. All right, I'm back now. Kinda. If it does it again, I'll restart the laptop. Kyle was pirate streaming with this laptop all day yesterday. So I tend to usually restart the laptops after we've used it a while before I stream on it. So it might not be the internet, but for now we're good. So we'll see. If it does it again, if I disappear into this space again, I'll be back in 2 minutes. Anthony says, do I think Florida has enough Florida, I think that's what you're trying to say. Florida has enough capital to make a trade for a defenseman or a third or fourth line forward, enough cap space for it to be a big time player. I think forwards were good, especially when you throw in, Jesper and Mackey, how well they're playing. Do I think that we could add a veteran guy like Okposo at the end, a guy that comes off the bench in case of emergency or in case somebody gets hurt? Yeah. But in terms of the forwards, I think we're good. Defensively, we've talked about it. It depends on what they're going to do with Ekblad, right? If you're letting Ekblad walk, you might make some kind of a move where you might overpay for somebody, but it's somebody that you think you're going to sign as an Ekblad replacement. If you plan on keeping Ekblad, then you probably will only be looking at a minor move because how many, we don't have much in the way of assets. So I don't know what Coach Maurice said to this team before Toronto, but like I've been cracking the joke, I don't know who that is in the number 5 uniform, but he could stay, right? He could stay. Hi, Amanda. Thank you, Amanda. Much appreciated. Says, what do I think Mackey's ceiling is? He's so dynamic. We just unlocked him. Very happy. Yeah, look, he has I don't see why, other than the fact that we've got like great players, and he's on the right side. If he wasn't a righty, I would say you could eventually see Sam Miskevich, Barkov, and Reinhardt. But being that he's a righty, excuse me, I think with us, where is he gonna? He's not gonna take Reinhardt's spot. He's not gonna take Chucky's spot, right? So you're looking at Lundell, Lusterine, and Sam Miskevich for quite some time there, much in the same way that Lundell is blocked from becoming 2 seed just because you're not gonna, let Sam Bennett go. But I think he has, especially when you talk about, his ceiling and his capability. Certainly, you put Sam Miskevich on the line with somebody like Barkov, who's going to, be able to draw two defenders and do some of the heavy lifting. I mean, I had picked him this year to have 10 goals, 15 assists. I think it's obvious he's going to pass that. I would think that by year 2, year 3, I mean, even Owen Tippett normally scores 25 goals. So I would say that I think you're looking at a guy that could easily start giving you 30 goals a season, maybe even as early as next year if he gets the right amount of ice time. He's not going to do it with 4th line minutes. But if they continue to put him on the power play, like a full season on the 3rd line, and he's the guy that moves up to the top or the 2nd line if somebody's injured, plus a full season on the power play, I think you're looking at a kid that could get 30 goals next season. Hey, thank you, Eyes. Thank you, brother. Much appreciated, Eyes. Thank you, bud, for the gifted membership. I don't know, is anybody going over to that Discord yet? I got to get back engaged with the members. It's slow going for me because my eyes are still fragile. And so that's kind of why I didn't do the live stream yesterday, because after the 2 day games in a row, you can kind of tell I'm squinting today. Man, thank you, Amanda. Thank you. She says, do I think Mackey is better than Tippett? Yeah. More complete. Tippett was much more inconsistent, in my opinion, which I think is kind of why he was a little bit more expendable. Like Tippett would have some stages where you're like, and then he looked good. And with Mackey, he's kind of like, he looks good, and then he has some stages where you're like, oh crap, this kid could really be good. So I think he's faster than Tippett for sure. So yeah, I definitely feel like when you see his willingness to attempt, even though he's not all that strong and all that big just yet, to attempt to get into the corners and to make the plays. He's not shying away from physical contact. He's playing a responsible defensive game. We've talked about it. I've seen him come back multiple times. He wouldn't be getting 4th line minutes if Maurice didn't trust the defense, right? Because the 4th line, that's your job, is go out there and eat minutes and don't allow anything stupid. So, the only reason he's not with Lundell Lusterine is because Boquist, and it's a good problem to have. You can interchange either one of those 2 players, and they're both scoring goals. It's a really good problem to have. I says Tippett is struggling this year too. Yeah. I mean, he's got natural talent. Tippett does in terms of goal scoring, but he's not as complete a player. He got big though. He did get big. Remember, he was just a scrawny little dude. Now you see him on the ice. I don't know what his size. I don't know what his size and dimensions are, but he's a big. He's not small. He's a big dude. Anthony says, before he ended up getting traded to Minnesota, am I surprised the Florida didn't try to get the defenseman? Oh, okay. Anthony, again, I hate to be a broken record, but between the way that the salary cap, the salary cap restraints were under, and everything revolves around Ekblad, right? Remember, Mikula is signed long-term. Kulikov is signed long-term, 3 or 4 years. They're not going anywhere. I think Balinskis has been a little bit better than they expected. And I think that kid Bournefoot, I think maybe they kind of hoped that he would develop and then he didn't. But in terms of going and getting any other defenseman out there, it's all going to depend on what Zito wants to do with Aaron Ekblad. And what I was saying is, like, all of a sudden Ekblad is like playing, I don't want to use the word great, but for him, he's playing exceptionally well. He looks very motivated. He looks very motivated, as if Zito had a conversation with him, something to the effect of, if you don't improve your level of play, we are going to remove your level of play, so to speak. Because the last 2 games, he is a completely different guy out there. And he's working hard. Like, I'm not saying he never works hard, but the last 2 games, I've seen him do a lot of huffing and puffing, right? So I think he's working a lot harder than he had been, and it shows. So, you have to be careful at this point to not give up assets for guys that we can't re-sign or that aren't going to fit into the long-term plan. Because when you're trying to win a cup, it's like we're already trying to develop Balinskis a little bit, right? And to some extent, Boquist. So when you're trying to win a cup, you're more focused on making sure you've got veteran players that are kind of already developed, because you're winning. You got to win now, especially with all the hockey we've played and with Bobrovsky's age, although Spencer Knight looks like he could step right in. Anthony says, well, I think the future second line is going to be Maddie, Anton, and Mackey. I think it'll be that next year. Well, no. Well, maybe. You'd have to put Tkachuk would have to definitely stay on the left. You want Samoskevich on the right. But if they re-sign Bennett, then it's going to stay what it is now. You see what I'm saying? So I would kind of like to re-sign Bennett and leave it the way it is now, because Lundell, Luosterainen, they're just so good together. And that chemistry that they have and the experience they have of working together will benefit Samoskevich so much when he finally gets up there for good. But while I would rather see him on the third line, I understand what Maurice is doing with Boquist, because he's a good young player too. And developing the ability for both of them to be interchanged on the third and fourth line like that, I think that's going to pay dividends at some point. I says, our 7-foot goalie got his first pro shutout over the weekend. If the teddy bear toss game, no doubt. Man, it says, chat went on me. Man, it says, Ekblad has been playing well, surprisingly. Maybe he likes the top spot on the power play. That actually could be part of it. I hadn't thought of it that way. I had not thought of it that way, but it's possible. He just looks like he's trying more. It's weird to say that, but he didn't suddenly just get healthy. Like, even on the power play, he's trying to move laterally more. And you could tell that he's working to do it, but he is doing it. I can't remember seeing a player just like all of a sudden, it's like that's the dude, right? Why are we not playing like that? All the time. It's really weird how it's happened. Meadow says Ekblad leaving would have to be in the offseason. Too much chemistry in the room and on the ice to give up if we go on another run. Yeah. I mean, I don't disagree, but they said something to him. Hey, Matthew. I was right about Chuck. I know my stuff. Yeah, well, I wish I wouldn't have been right on that one. He is starting to hit people, though. And he's turning into Huberto, but who would hit people. I mean, so if he's going to make 2 or 3 passes like that every night, we'll work with it. We got enough guys that can put the puck in the back of the net, right? Reinhardt's going to have 70 this year. Hey, thank you, Amanda. Thank you. Thank you, Amanda. Says, if Mackey scores 20 this year, do I forego Bennett, or is he the staple of the team, which I think is? Yeah. No, I would not. Because remember, Mackey's not going to play center. Bennett's at center. So, I mean, I understand what you're saying because you're worried at some point about wanting to sign Samoskevich, but he's not going to – we're not – I don't think he's an RFA after this year. I believe before we have to worry about – yeah, because he's a – I don't know. He's only 22, so he's only going to be an RFA anyway. So I don't think we're going to have to worry about paying him even a small amount. Yeah, he signed to a 3-year entry-level deal, but when did he sign it? When did he sign it? Oh, last year. He only signed a 3-year entry-level deal last season, if this is correct from what it's saying. So we won't even have to worry about giving him a bridge deal until long after Bob's $10 million is up. Yeah. So he's basically playing for free for 3 years. Hold on, let me turn my wife. It came up finally. It didn't want to come up. His cap hit this year and his cap hit next year is $925,000. So we don't even have to give him a bridge deal until after Bob's contract is up. So when there's no worries there. Yeah, Mackey will be an RFA after this season. Hold on a second. That's not what I'm reading here. I'm not saying you guys are wrong. I'm just saying that's not what I'm reading here. Let me get back to that. Hold on. Here's Puckpedia. No, you're right. The other play, Sport Track was saying something different. But yeah, Puckpedia is saying this is year 3 of 3. All right, so then he will need some kind of a bridge deal. Now I see what Amanda's saying. I mean, the cap's going to go up. You're going to give Bennett like an extra $2 million over what he's getting now, right? Bennett's going to get like 6.5, maybe 7. He's going to get like maybe almost $3 million more than what he's getting now. Even if the cap goes up, is there anybody else to sign other than that? Well, you pay. No, you pay Mackey with Ekblad's lowering in the salary. Yeah. You pay if you not counting how much the cap is going to go up, you assume that you're going to give Bennett $3 million more, give or take, than what he's making now. Then you pay Mackey. I mean, you know how much you're going to have to give him, right? I mean, teams will be interested, but even Luostarinen and Lundell, I think, only got 1.5. So let's say maybe you're going to give Mackey 2 because the cap has gone up. So you could give Mackey 2. I mean, he's making 1 now. So you could give him 2.5, and just take it out of Ekblad's money. you're not giving Ekblad 7.5. We're going to give you 5 the rest of the way. There's still money to do that, but Ekblad has to take the pay cut. And I think we've known that anyway. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you. She says, we're happy to see how Mackey plays in the playoffs. Let's start there. Bennett is clutch. You pay more for clutch. Yeah. I says, give Mackey the same contract we give Dan Nasenko. Trey says it makes everything easier if we give Mackey 8.7. No, you're gonna give Mackey a bridge deal like 2 by 2.25. Like 2 by 2.25. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised to see if we sign him to the bridge deal during the season. If you sign him to the bridge, in fact, I think that would be smart, and here's why. If you sign him to the bridge deal during the season, then there's your message to Ekblad and Bennett, but mainly Ekblad, that this is the money we have. You want to stay or not? I say you give him 2 by 2.25. I says don't give Mackey that much. It's not about the service he has, though, Eyes. It's about, that's why we had to pay Spencer Knight. Other teams ain't stupid, right? You don't think somebody would offer sheet Mackey? If Mackey ends up finishing this season with 20 goals and another team can offer sheet him and weaken us that way, it could happen. It doesn't happen all that often, but we're like a wounded dead duck with our cap situation. I mean, he's already making $1 million. I disagree with you, Eyes. I disagree. Why take the chance? I disagree. He's already making 1. The bridge we had given Lundell and Lustrino was 1.5. So you want to give him a little bit more because, the cap has gone up. But if Mackey continues to play this way, especially if he shows off in the playoffs, like what Amanda is saying, you're thinking right now, you know what I mean? Trey. Good job, Trey. Good job. Hungry wants to know how much they could realistically shave off Ekblad's contract if he resigns. Well, the dude before the last 2 games, I was going to offer him $3 million, and he would have walked. I think you could see him. It's such a weird spot because he's at an age where, generally speaking, players want one more big contract. And Craig, that's what I'm talking about. Craig is saying, look at the guys Edmonton lost. Right. It can happen. If a team wants to target you and be like, there could be a team that has plenty of extra cap space, and it's nothing for them to offer Mackey $3 million. Right now, would he sign it? I mean, he's still got to sign it. But the way Zito's been, especially with Lundell, with Luosterainen, remember, like what Craig was saying, with Luosterainen, both of his extensions, I think one of his extensions came during the season. So while 2.25 might be a bit of an overpay, I don't think it'd be much less than 2. Right? But back to Ekblad's contract. I think when it all rounds out, I think the most we're going to be able to really offer him is 5. The timing of his deal is screwy because Bob's $10 million is still there. I think the most I would do, if I'm Zito, the most I would offer Ekblad, and I would cringe while I was doing it, is 5 by 5. If he's going to play like this, if he plays the rest of the season in the playoffs the way he's playing now, you got to give him more than Gabranson, right? Gabranson about 4 by 4, so you give Ekblad 5 by 5. Taylor says, in Zito we trust. Thanks. I appreciate that, Matthew. Yeah, I get, I make jokes about how much I like certain guys, but he's just Well, you're seeing it. In a way, it's almost a compliment that that he's playing him on the fourth line, because it shows that Maurice trusts his defensive game. Kenneth says Ekblad 1 year, $5 million bridge, and then 6.5 by 4. You know, it's funny, Kenneth. I brought something up like that, and somebody told me that would be considered salary cap manipulation. I don't remember who. I might have been talking about Ekblad because of Bob's contract, where I said just sign him to 1 year and then give him the extra money. When I brought that up in a video or something, and a couple of people said that the league would consider that salary cap manipulation. If you basically said, we'll just give you 1 year, and then we're going to pay you, later on. I don't know that. That's kind of a gray area, right? Excuse me. Yeah, Trey says being on 4L isn't a demotion when you're also on PP1. Trey. Hey, Nick, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, it's almost 12:30 actually. Well, you just waking up, man? That's cool. That's cool. Charles might as well be the assistant GM. Kenny says it would if you tell him you'd pay him later. Right. Yeah. Hungry says, but putting Mark Stone on IR for 2 seasons in a row isn't make sense. Yeah, I mean, I guess you're only, what is it? You only busted if you get caught or something like that. We could do it. But what would the league look the other way? I guess is what I'm trying to say. Right? Jaws keeps saying play Mackey. I kind of I like what Maurice is doing with him right now. I know I kind of would rather see him on the third line, but I actually think Mackey is better for the fourth line than Boqvist is. Because Mackey is just, whatever line he goes to, he elevates the level of play. And so I just wish the minutes would be a little bit more even out. But the fact that he's on power play 1 and he got a power play goal with 0.8 seconds left the other day, I begrudgingly approve. I think I see what Maurice is doing. And it will keep Mackey fresh towards the latter half of the season, where sometimes rookies will hit that wall. Somebody had brought it up here in the chat. Remember, Lundell was on pace for maybe the Calder, and then he got hurt. So, iDog says, everyone else already hates us, so let's add salary cap manipulation in there. It can't hurt. Right? Trey says, get Spencer Knight to date Sabrina Carpenter and watch the cap go up. What? Oh, man. And then I don't know who this person is. I wish I could read it, but I guess it's in Russian. It's in your name is in another language to me. It says the attack has become worse. There are not enough emotions. Talk to text is definitely getting to you, but I appreciate you being here. True says Samuel's going to be a dominant player in the next few years. Yep. Once he puts on a little bit more weight, a little bit more experience. And look, the thing I like about it is it's proving Zito can draft, right? We already kind of knew Lundell, but now Samoskevich, that's 2. Remember, Lundell was Zito's first pick. So now that's 2, right? That's 2 he's scored on. What's Sordiff going to turn into? Don't know. Whatever happened to Ludwig? Was he a Zito pick, or was he one of Talon's last picks? Last I heard, I know he went to Pittsburgh, and then he got concussed, and I think he came back. But is he still playing? As we want to be the most hated team in the league, I think we're there, brother. I think we're there, Eyes. I don't think there's another team hated more than us. The hate meter in such a short period of time. Just I mean, I don't really get much hate now, but in the playoffs. But the first 3 or 4 years of the channel, when somebody new, especially from a Canadian market, would find the channel, their basic attitude was, oh, isn't it cute? Look at that. The Panthers got a fan. It's so cool. And now I don't get any more of those comments. I do not get any more of those comments. Metal, yeah, that's why I'm asking. I don't know. Craig says, plus Mackey fits into the culture of the Cats. Yeah, agreed there. Agreed. I say we're a little bit less hated because we lost Nick Cousins. That's true. Hey, thank you, Amanda. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, they hate us, but they can't beat us. Taylor says they hate us because they ain't hate us. They ain't hate us? I said that. Not you. You said it right. I said it differently. I'm loopy. Jay says, we were hated more than Vegas after they won the cup despite them winning and manipulating the cap themselves. Yeah. I never knew until one day, I think it was after game 5. And I just happened upon Low Quality Bruins fan. And there was a whole community of people that hated us and said we were the dirtiest, scummiest team in the league. And it was like catching your wife or girlfriend cheating on you and you're reading the emails. You're like, how could I have not known? How could I have not known? How could this have been going on behind my back all this time where all these people hate us? I never knew. And then once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it. Sorry. I says we're very hated in Boston because we stole their home rink, right? Hungry says I love the state taxes argument from them. Yeah, there's that one, right? Man, he says I always knew Vegas was going to get a cup. They're always in the Western Conference Finals every year. Yeah, eventually they were going to get one. Eventually, look, when we look at what we went through physically just to get to those finals, it's a miracle that we looked as good as we did until we didn't. Doug says we never even got the Detroit Lions storyline of everybody wanting us to win before they started to hate us. That's true. Although a little bit in the President's Trophy season where we got swept. But the problem with that season, one of the reasons why we did not get that treatment was the whole Q thing and how that all went down. So there was automatically a portion of the fan base. Remember, we let them coach that game, right? So there was automatically a portion of the NHL fan base that kind of looked at us a certain way after that all went down. So we kind of lost the Dan Campbell cuddly cutesy cat thing that we might have had it not gone down that way. Trey says you can't have Panthers flair in the NHL subreddit. I mean, you can, but if you do, everything you say will get downvoted into oblivion regardless of the comment or even the subject matter. Metal says low quality calls us dirty even when his team has Marchand, Zadorov, formerly Lucic, and even Pasta always out to hurt the Panthers. Yeah, it's a little bit. I just tell them, look, if they wouldn't stop falling for it. It's very simple. If in game 1 I go up to you and I go nanny boo boo and you hit me and you get a penalty, in game 2 I'm going to come up to you and go nanny boo boo and you're going to hit me and you're going to get another penalty. If you keep doing it, I'm going to keep coming up to you and going stop falling for it. If you don't want us to do the thing that we do, stop falling for it and taking stupid penalties, right? He says, fine, Fluffy, you have a subreddit. No, I tried Reddit years ago when I first started the channel. And look, I mean, when I started the channel in 2017, I didn't know anything about social media. I didn't even know what Reddit was. It was just a place to post the videos. There was a couple of people that were nice to me, like 2 people that were nice to me, and then it was bad. It was not a pleasant experience. To just put it that way. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you. Man, it says, if we win this year, are we a dynasty? Oh, usually 3 is a dynasty. Usually 3 is a dynasty. 2 is close. But I think what is it? 3 and 5 years? Is that the rule? I think that's the rule. You got to win 3 in like a 5-year period. JC says, I'm not nice to you. Mike says, death taxes and French Canadian referees putting Chucky in the box for breathing on people, right? The last, I mean, I'm not one to, if it's 2-2, whatever, 4-4, I love 4-4. We always do well 4-4. But how he ended up in the box the other day with nobody else, it was a sight to be. You can only laugh. And at this point, I'm not even mad when we take a penalty because it's just like, here comes Reinhardt, here comes the shorty. It's just like, here comes the shorty. We're 25 games in and we got 7 shorthanded goals. That's 1 shorthanded goal every 3.5 games. That's 1 shorty a week. That's crazy. That's crazy. True says, Reddit is like that. The chat's going so fast. Hold on. Reddit is like your old uncle that's hooked on crack and alcohol that you don't tell everyone you still talk to. I haven't been on Reddit in so long. I can't. I don't need to go where I'm not wanted. You know what I mean? He says, and that was a goal by Chucky. Too, they robbed us. I've seen so many replays this week of people scoring while the whole foot is in the blue. Yeah, I know. I just try not to get too pissed off about it because they're gonna do that with him, right? JC says the Florida team is selling a cardigan for $300. They have lost touch with the fan base. It's not even $50 worth of materials, LMLA. I blame the new fair weather fans. Kyle was telling me they're having like a drop, like 12 days of Christmas and a drop. For $300, it better be a mint brand new reverse retro Forsling jersey with the Stanley Cup patch on it, without the advertising patch on it, signed by Forsling himself. That comes with a picture of me with Forsling that's signed by Forsling himself as well. That's the $300 package. A cardigan, who? Exactly. Pull up the cardigan on Google and shit. Hold on a second. Hold on. Man, it says it's going to 3 straight finals and winning 2 straight, not considered a dynasty. No. I mean, I would want to say yes because it's the Panthers, but I think generally speaking, hold on, guys. Let me get this card in. I think generally speaking, you got to win three championships. Can I just Google it? Oh, I didn't want that, you dummy. Don't open up another thing. Hold on a second. Let's try this one more time. Okay, that's not it. Is it on FloridaPanthers.com? Is it on? Hey, on. What website is it on? No, that's fine. True. I want to do it, but is it on the Florida Panthers website? It's on the Cats. It's on the team shop. All right, hold on a second. There it is. Okay, there it is. Oh, come on. Okay, here's the cardigan. Where is it? I don't want to. I'm trying to get to it, but okay. I'm clicking on Bark Off here. I'll just go this way. You want me to pay what, bruh? Hold on. Why did it blow it up like that? I didn't. Hold on a second. Let me get back to it. Here. This is what I was trying to do. Because when you click on it, it doesn't bring you to a page to buy it. That's $300. See, when you click on it, it doesn't bring you to a page that click on it. Huh? Come on. And it brings you to that Cyber Monday sale, shop by player. Is it going to be under Barkov because he's there with the cardigan? No. So it doesn't, you click on it and it doesn't bring you to a page to order it. Not that I would want to order it, but that. Thanks, eyes. And why does it keep blowing up the screen on why does it keep doing that? Did you see that? It did it twice to me now. I'm leaving it there. And then it'll change. All right, you put the link in and see, it keeps changing it. All right, well, you get the point. You get the point. That was weird. Hungry says, how much fentanyl was the guy that prices it doing, right? You put the link in the chat. Let me see. The link in the chat is probably not even there. And what I mean is that YouTube probably removed it. YouTube probably removed it. I know if you put a link in the chat, sometimes YouTube will remove it. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. That's okay. You guys get the idea, right? Well, yeah, won't you be my For those of you who don't get the reference, that is from the Mr. Rogers Neighborhood song, Won't You Be My Neighbor? But instead it is, Won't You Be My Captain? Oh, that's funny. Because it's true. That's perfect, Trey. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you. I've always compared Barkov with Anze Kopitar, who's better and don't be biased. I mean, I didn't watch Kopitar play every night, right? I didn't watch Kopitar play every night. What was Kopitar's? Oh, a second. Let me. I want to see what his goal scoring. What? Because we know about the defense and all of that. And he's still playing. I mean, points wise, he looks like Barkov, right? Kopitar has never had 40 goals. Plus minus looks good. Penalty minutes, very, very, very similar. Face-off percentage, almost like duplicates, right? Almost like duplicates. The only thing I'll say about Kopitar is it looks like he stayed a lot more healthy because it looks like he played almost every game most of the years. 81 last year, 82 the year before, 81 the year before, 56 the year before, which was the expected season. 81, 82, 81. So maybe Kopitar has stayed a little bit more healthy. Eddie Murphy voice. Kenny says you're almost at 2 feet of snow already? Jeez. Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch Kopitar play all the time, but it's one of those things where it's hard to compare, right? You look at the stats, they're almost the same player. Barkov has continued to get better with age. And so I don't know that Barkov is still incomplete. Emmanuel says, yeah, they're both so similar, right? I think Barkov is still at an incomplete because does he win 1 cup, 2 cup, 3 cups, right? I think when this run is over, does he? How many more Selkies is he going to win, right? Ken has got 3 feet further north. We're supposed to get like 6 inches over the weekend. Trey says, how about that for a hot take? Gretzky, despite being the greatest player ever, might not be the greatest player ever for any of his teams. But it was such a different, it's like I always say, it's like trying to compare Marino and Mahomes, right? Or Marino and Brady, or, the rules were so different. The structure of the teams were so, the goalie, just the goalies, the size of the goalies, right? Beezer was what Beezer was like. I want to say he was short. I want to say John Van Beesbrook was not big, as far as I can recall. Like I almost wanted to say, 5'8". I was going to say 5'9". Beezer was 5'8", 176 pounds. But you see how well he played. And now you got goalies that are 6'8". 6'8". 220. It's a completely different world, right? Jay says, because he never stayed with any of his teams long enough, it would be Messier for Edmonton, Anze for the Kings, to take a pick on the Rangers and Blues. Yeah, I can see your point. Would Gretzky have just been Lundell? Not Lundell, Jesus Christ, no Jaws. For Hagee. would Gretzky have just been a more expensive version of Clutch Swaggy? You know what I mean? I don't know. It's a bit much, but you get my point. Yeah, Blues was Brett Hull, right? Sean says Trey Lundell. Craig says remove McSorley protection and Gretzky drops down that list too, right? Yeah, all totally different time. Totally different time. But I get what you're saying, Trey. I get what you're saying. Interesting. Hold on a second. I says Marchman had a sweet goal last night. How's he doing, by the way? Is he ever going to shave that mustache? Trey says, no, Gretzky was Gretzky. What I'm saying is he would be the greatest Oiler, but wasn't there for long enough. Same for all those other teams. I get what you're saying. Right. I remember Neil Rogers used to call him Needle Nose. He hated him. Of course, he was a Leafs fan, right? But he used to call him Needle Nose. Sean says, so now that we have calmed down the losing, what expectations do I have for us through the next 20 games? Let's look at the schedule. I think we're going to the West Coast. So, got the Penguins, Flyers, Sharks, Kraken. Well, let's just finish the homestand. No, it's not a homestand. Actually, we're on the road against the Penguins tomorrow. Then Thursday against the Flyers. Then we're home against the Sharks. This is so stupid again. We come home against the Sharks Saturday, and then we go on the road. And we got the Kraken at 10 o'clock, and then the Canucks at 10 o'clock, and the Flames at 10 o'clock, and the Oilers at 8:30, and the Wild at 9:30. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 late night games in a row. Hey, thank you, Silva. Thank you, buddy. Trade Giles, Sourdiff, the guy in Ekblad's jersey, and Samoskevich for Trouba, 2/3, Rempe, and Riley Smith. Oh, jeez. That's right. Monty will get his ring. Yeah. So once we're done with that stretch, then we're home against the Blues, and then we're on the road against the Lightning, and then we're home against the Lightning. 22nd, 23rd, Lightning. And then we get a little bit of time off for Christmas, and the next game's not until the Canadiens at home, and the Rangers at home, and the Hurricanes at home, and the Penguins at home. So we come back to the state of Florida after we play the Wild on the 18th. We come back to the state of Florida on the 19th, I guess, and we don't leave until January 6th when we play the Avalanche. That is 26. That's like 3 weeks. That's like almost 3 weeks at home. So they're going to be home for Christmas. Just put it that way. I says, have Kyle do the late games. Well, Trey knows why I'm smiling, right, Trey? Don't say anything, Trey. But Trey knows why I'm smiling about, especially the last late game. You'll see. Well, really see. Yeah, no, the 18th. The 18th is the last late game. Yeah. Craig says the Sharks may be a tougher than expected game. Yeah, they've picked it up a little bit. Right? I mean, they couldn't be that bad for forever. I mean, eventually, like even the Carolina Panthers in football, eventually teams start to win a game here or there, right? iDog says Blues with Jim Montgomery looking for revenge. That's right. That game against the Blues is going to be, yeah, very interesting. iDog says Kraken have been struggling. Not sure how Montour's been. I says, have twisted wrist to do the late night games. He's in that time zone. Well, let's just say, how do I put this, Trey? Trey, how do I help me out, Trey? Let's just say I'm going to be doing the late games. For reasons. I think Nick is going to be doing. Green Loogie says, when is this news getting announced? I can't tell you that. I know when it's getting announced, but I can't tell you that. Kevin says, Green posted a pic from work on Discord and off topic. Someone can remove it later. The news will be announced before Christmas. Well, I'll give you that much, but I can't. If I say when, it'll give it away. Just put it that way. But I know that most likely Nick is going to be doing the last late game. That's on the 18th. I'm 99% sure Nick is going to be doing that last late game. Oh, if they ever put me in charge of anything, Trey. That's funny. Press secretary. Oh my God, I love it. Oh, yeah. Actually, yeah. Give me that job. Give me. I'll start walking now. I don't even need to take a bus or anything. I'll start walking now. Give me that job. That sounds like fun. Wow. Yeah. I do a good job too, right? I would do a good job. Oh my God. But yeah, Green. Nick's gonna do the last one, the 18th. Nick will be doing that one. And we'll see how it goes after that. We'll see how it goes after that. I know we're at home after that, but yeah. Surprise. Blow the dust off my suit. I got to get a suit. I don't have one, Nick. I've never had a suit. Never had a suit. I've only been to one. Well, no, I've been to. How many funerals have I been to? I think I've been to 2 in my life. Yeah, I only been to 2. My grandfather's. My grandfather, Trey. We'll see. My grandfather's funeral, and then a funeral that I was invited to. How can I put this? I won't. I'll save that. It's not for this channel. That subject is not for this channel. So we'll just leave it at that. Chopper says, Jaws, please bring back the Quebec Nordiques. The U.S. will threaten Canada with nukes if we don't do it. No, if they put me in charge, basically what I would do is I would take all the Canadian teams, put you all in one division, and how we did it during COVID, you guys just stay up there. You got so just so that the Southern teams don't have to travel all that way all that time. We do. I'll do an executive order NHL realignment. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll do an executive order. When I'm president, I'll do an executive order NHL realignment. Maybe even NFL too. I says Kyle is starting the baseball channel. That's the announcement. No. No. Just in time to see the MLB crash and burn under the weight of their own incompetence. No, Kyle is involved with the surprise. Kyle is heavily involved with the surprise. We'll just leave it at that. Manny, he's good. He actually woke up at a decent time today because he wants me to take him to the gym this afternoon. So I did not get to the gym this morning, which is probably why I have a little bit more energy than normal. So now I got to go. If we don't have a game, I don't mind going to the gym in the afternoon because then I can kind of come home and get in my chair and right. But when we have a game, if I go to the gym in the afternoon, the soreness starts to kick in right around game time. And so if I don't do substances, it's not pleasant. It's not pleasant. I put my body through things at the gym where I should not do, right? It's like if you get into shape when you're younger and you never get out of shape, you can do things at the gym that your muscles will let you do, but that 8 hours later, your joints are like, bruh, what are you doing? And so, yeah, I like to go to the gym in the morning because that gives me time to relax before, but we don't have a game tonight, so we're good to go. All right, everybody, I got to roll. I hear him calling me for something. I think he's ready to. He wants to get to the gym. He must hear me talking about him. So, if you are a fan of the other channel, The Voice of Reason, I just put out a video last night. It is the story of me and Brother Gene, Daytona Spring Break, 1989, free Hall & Oates concert on the beach. That's I wanted to do something fun. So I posted that to the community board. So it's not one of the heavy lessons of life videos. it's fun. It's an actual story of life. So if you ever played a rather evil joke or trick on your brother or significant other or best friend, that one is for you for sure. So, Nick, seeing your back slowly starting to feel better. Good, man. Good. I'm glad to hear it. I know that's a hell of a procedure you went through. So hopefully it works out. All right. Appreciate all the super chats. Thank you all very much. Let me go 10 to the. That's always crooked. All right, everybody. Appreciate all the support. I'll see you tomorrow at noon. I'll be here tomorrow at noon.